Power of the Elements has a real problem, and you might not have noticed it just yet. Don't make 30% of you guys have not smashed the living crap out of that subscribe button. Be a real shame if you didn't. You wouldn't know about this. This guy's smashed as we climb up the 100K ladder here. So I want to talk about Power of the Elements. My friend brought over his bulk last night to me, and he said, Robbie, he said, it's got a real problem. And I was like, what's that? Well, you're not going to be able to see this very clearly here, but we're gonna focus in here for a second. Now, you guys know what an average Yu-Gi-Oh card looks like, right? Oh, you see it? Is that a bad corner up there? Oh, what about down here? Now, I don't know if you guys will see this either, but these corners here and here have some very interesting defining things. Actually, you know what? It's just a whole cardstock issue change here. I don't know if you guys picked up any Dimension Force or things like that, but you might have noticed, one, kind of like a change in cardstock, which, okay, sure, that's fine. You know, like, understanding, like, there's a cardstock shortage and things out there, but you also might have noticed something else. On a lot of the holos from Dimension Force, they look like they were bent, but they weren't bent. It was like the roller went over them, and it didn't create like an outline on the back, but on the front of the holos, there was an issue. We opened up a lot of Dimension Force on stream just to like have a good time, and every other box had the roller effect down the front of it. Now you're like, well, how does it tie in to, you know, Power of the Elements, Robbie? It's projecting a lot of the same problems, but this time I'm seeing issues on, besides like the commons, I'm starting to see reports on the Seeker rares. Now, my friend ended up seeing an Ashura King and was telling me about it that had the same roller effect that we saw for Difo, that it wasn't the crease effect on this. It was just basically indented. Now, if you're telling me that Konami quality control here can't even, you know, you already seen issues on the common corners of this set here, then if it's showing up in higher rarities, God, look at this Tier Elements Crime, straight out of the pack, man. Like, my friend just brought this over and was like, Robbie, look at that. I don't think you can see a really good, like, definement here, but, like, that corner is Doodlebop. And it's only the front. Like, come on, Konami. What's going on? Well, Robbie, you know, it's commons, man. Like, you shouldn't be worried about, like, the bulk. I mean, yeah, I agree. But the problem here is when quality controller QC is dipping on in to the higher rarity stuff, you're going to have a problem here. Oh, we've had quality control issues. You guys remember Ghost Rares? You guys remember you'd open up a near mint Ghost Rare straight out of the pack here, and it had scratches on it. And then, you know, by TCG Player Standard, your straight pack near mint is now light play, according to this. That's why you see, like, the raw hunters out here that are screeching at the top of their lungs because they can't get a PSA 10 copy of a card, because if you open it straight out of the pack, you already like a 7 because of scratches. And once again, now you're going to be asking yourself, well, if we're going to be opening product here in the next couple of days, you know, next week or so here as this set comes out, how much of it's going to be truly near mint? I already know that there's, oh man, I love the prestigious raw hunters out here. They're like, oh, I need raw 10s to complete my collection. I think it's hilarious. Like, honestly, as long as the card is, like, playable. Now, the indent stuff is going to be really worrisome, because if you can fill that through a sleeve, no, that's real bad. But as long as it's not on all the secrets, I'm willing to, like, I want to give Konami, like, the benefit of the doubt at some points. But man, oh man, if we've been from 2 sets here where you smash through, you know, Dimension Force and you smash right into the next course, if this is going to be a common recurring theme on this, I'm afraid to see what we're going to see here with Tactical Masters, where you see, like, oh my god, my holo straight out of the pack may as well have just been bent in half at this point. Like, that seems like what we're getting at this point. I will say, at least for this set, from what I'm holding right now, at least the supers don't have the roller ran over them. So kudos to that, Konami. Fingers crossed. I almost guarantee I'll open a box and all the supers will have the standard line down it. So, Konami quality control, it amazes me. I don't know how this gets through, man. Like, I like, back on the topic of like opening the pack. Like, if you guys opened up Difo, and I'm pretty sure that this set's the same, but like, the pack feels like it's vacuumed shut. I mean, obviously, like, packs in the past were like that, but there's a way different quality and feel to the newest releases. Like, ever since, like, once again, I don't know if you guys know, but they shifted printing facilities out of, from Texas to, what is it, North Carolina, I think, sit at the bottom of the cartons out of the last set. So, I mean, obviously, I think they're using Pokemon's printers now. Don't quote me on that, but I think that they just told whatever's going on in Texas. As so many, like, really weird stories and things came out of Texas that it was actually really, really ridiculous, man. Like, I don't know. There's obviously, you always will hear the ghost rumor out here of things floating around, but, like, I would rather have those stories end up being true. Actually, another thing, did you guys get the chance to, like, get OTS holos, or the last OTS? They look bad, all right? Like, they were, like, I wish I had one of, what was it, one of the little zombie guys that was in the set. It was like a holo or something, and like, it looked fake. Like, if you got OTS Altis coming out here and they look fake AF, come on. So that's, I mean, it's really a big issue here with quality control. The other big thing that I'm actually hearing, and I want to add this as a sub point here because I think this part is hilarious to me. When you look at a set like Power of the Elements, where you see, oh my gosh, the core themes in here, the most powerful decks are available cheaply, you figured people would be happy, right? No. The competitive player base is actually in an actual massive, like, crying fit out here because the cards that they wanted to see holo in the set, they're not holo. Like, I'm laughing really loud now at these people because it's hilarious because we're seeing the exact opposite effect of things. There's always going to be the people who want the max rarity stuff. Don't get me wrong. I think, like, not printing Sprite Blue as a Prismatic Starlight was definitely a big miss. Kitagalos is that. But you open up the door for OTS Ultimates and OTS upgrades here. But, like, people are mad. Like, this stuff's not going to show up next year until the Megatons. So if you wanted to see secret rare versions of, Tier Elements, Meta Noise, Hoffins, actually, these are obviously, like, your core cards. Oh, look, it's an OTS upgrade, right? Look, that's going to be a super in the future. Oh, look, Smashers, a super. Meta Noise, probably a super. Oh, look, probably a super. Is that Solik? Yeah, probably a super. You see oh boy, look, should have been a super. Look, not a super. You see the problem here? How many cards am I holding here? What is this, 8 cards? 7 cards that should have been supers, or at least the player base wanted to be supers, which means, oh, Konami just printed OTS stuff. Now, my next question is if they're looking at this set and they're going, if we're going to OTS all of this, you gotta ask yourself, is Konami planning for this to be the next Eternal format? Like, this is just like a little sub, like, theory here, but, like, I looked at this, like, these comments, and I was like, the last time I saw this was Orcust, alright, and that was already really, really suspicious back then, but, like, you look at this and you're like, how long, if Konami's printing this in low rarity, how fast do they plan to, like, either get this out of the format, or how quick do they plan to upgrade these as better OTS cards? Because you can't already tell me that Konami's not looking at Kitagalos and going, you might make a good ultimate rare. Looking at, one of the Sprite cards going, Sprite starter? As an ulti? Konami's definitely well aware, the player base mad AF, besides, card quality out here, that they got comments. It's just, it's funny to me, man. You can't please anybody, or you can't please everybody out here in terms of, like, the world of the market, but boy, oh boy, when you make a theme, only have 1 secret rare and no higher upgrades, community gonna get even more mad. One little other subway here. You know how many people have been like, oh, I saved up all this money to get Starlights for Tier Elements just for this to happen? Shifty eyes. Konami knows what they do at every sort of turn. So if you're pulling Power of the Elements, I wish you the best to actually get some near mint cards. That's all I'm saying. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later, and they have some more cool ass content. Peace out, guys. Patrons, thank you. Ugh.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.